facilitated this, so thank you very much for doing this for me. I hope everybody can hear me well. And that's good. That's great. And you okay if I start right now? Might as well just start, right? No?
You can start, ma'am, because what happens is I got a lot of people waiting. I have nearly 62 people waiting. You can start because my work is to see who was there and to admit them. Okay.
Yes, I know I posted it on Facebook last night, so I know a lot of people are going to come in and join this morning as well for me in the morning. So if you, if you could let them in, that would be great.
Oh, I have to see my students also, ma'am. That's what I'm sorry for that.
Sure,
I have to check it.
I totally understand that. So I'm going to ask everybody to turn the microphone off, except if you want to talk and you want to ask questions, then you can turn it on, right? Otherwise, that way it's too many sounds in the background. But you're welcome to have your video on and I'm happy to see you guys. So it's great to all see everybody. But definitely turn your mic off unless you want to ask questions. I so welcome all the questions. So you're welcome to ask questions anytime. I'm probably going to share my screen in a little bit. And this is really all about the 5 elements. So I've put a lot of information online about the 5 elements. I have videos, I have posts, I have a lot of information that's, available on my website, on YouTube, on every social media platform that I, go on. So there's a lot, but I just wanted to have something alive so we can ask questions, because sometimes when you watch a video, you have a question, but you can't ask me because it's recorded and you can't do that. So I'm going to ask again, if you could turn your mic off, that would be great. So that would be really appreciated. Unless you ask, you are going to ask. So I think
connect, send, share panna.
Oh, that would be great. I think this person, Mr. Primjude, can you turn your microphone off because we can hear everything?
Sir, Mr. Prem, could you please mute your microphone?
Thank you.
Yes, I put.
Please.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. So,
Okay, sir.
Same thing for this person here, which is Kalian. Could you turn your mic off as well? That would be really appreciated. So again, can you guys turn your microphone off? That would be really appreciated. So I'm going to ask one more time. Thank you. Can you turn your microphone off? Because there's still people that have their microphone on, and so we're going to hear all the background noise, which makes it really difficult for everybody. So, okay. There's everybody saying welcome and good morning. So thank you on the chat there. Awesome. Perfect. So please, again, just one more time, turn your microphone off. Thank you. Unless you're asking a question. Awesome. Okay. So let's start it up. I wanted to talk about the 5 elements, and really talk about how in Chinese medicine, it is a tool to allow us to figure out where the problem or the disorder or the issue that the patient has started, right? The 5 elements is a great way to look for the root of the problem. So that's why I love the 5 elements theory, just because when something happens, I'm going to ask Mr. Primjude to turn his microphone off again. So,
Mr. Prem, யாருங்க மைக்க கொஞ்சம் மியூட்ல போடுங்க. Mr. Prem,
மியூட்ல போட்டுறோம் சார்.
இல்ல மியூட்ல இல்ல, உங்களுக்கு ஆன்ல இருக்கு மைக். Mr. Premjude.
Thank you. Yay.
Okay.
Thank you. It's
no,
okay.
it is now it is okay.
Now it is okay.
Now it is okay. Clara ma'am, you can continue, please.
I think people are connecting, and
Clara,
then
I think you'll have to put everyone on mute.
That's going to be a problem. Madame Moto, perfect. Thank you for turning your mic off. Awesome. Okay, so I'm back on turning. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to start showing you. So can I share my screen? Is it possible? Yes. Rudolph, can you allow me to share my screen because it's disabled? It says host disabled attendee screen sharing. So if you could allow me to share my screen, that'd be great. because it's not allowing me to do so.
No, I'm trying to do it because I cannot do it because what happens, ma'am, I see another 50 people or 90 people are on the line. Now my system is also hanging up. It's getting stuck.
Okay.
If you don't mind, can you share it on my email immediately? I will display it. Could you please do it on the line? I will do it.
Let's see if I can do that.
He can make her co-host.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I cannot do it, sir, because it's pouring. About 98 calls are waiting, sir. I cannot move my mouse. I think so you can understand. I cannot move it. It's like 98 people are waiting online.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of people wanted to come, I guess. Let me try to see if I can send you the PDF. Sorry about that, you guys. I knew it would be a problem. I knew it's like the first time. I'm like, things are gonna happen. Let's see. I'm gonna have to go. You have to have a PDF, I assume. So okay, here we go.
I'm on my mail, Clara, ma'am.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just sending it right now. So it's just loading. Okay, it's sent. So here we go. Perfect. So in the meantime, I wanted to talk about the 5 elements. So if we look at the 5 elements, which I know in Chinese medicine, the 5 elements are fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. Okay, those are the 5 elements. So I wanted to talk about a few things regarding those. So I'm going to write because we are here. So wood means anything that's coming from the trees, from the forest, right? So that's what generates fire. And that's the 5 element generating sequence. Fire would be anything that's heat, the sun, that warms everything. So that usually can warm up food, and food comes from the earth, right? So fire generates earth. Earth means anything that has to do with growth, with nurturing, with growing in nature, so plants, and including food, of course, that grow, that nourish and nurture us. Then earth generates metal. Now I want to talk about what metal is in TCM because I think that's very confusing a lot of time. Thank you, Dr. Rudolph. That's very confusing a lot of times. So I wanted to talk about the fact that metal means mineral. It doesn't mean metal per se, just like a piece of metal. Think of this as anything that has to do with mineral. So mineral meaning, magnesium, iron, potassium, any kind of mineral out there, gold and silver, that's what it means. So earth generates metal. It means that from the earth, we get all the minerals that are coming from the earth, right? A good, strong earth will generate good minerals for the plants, for everything that comes up. And then mineral or metal generates water because water is made of minerals, right? The water is H2O. A lot of water have sulfur in them and iron and potassium and magnesium. We have a lot of mineral within the water when we have different waters, depending where you are. And then water generates wood because, of course, in order to grow tree, I'm in Vancouver and I have to tell you it's raining again today. It's a welcome to Vancouver weather. And so when it's raining a lot. And so everything is green because we get lots of water to grow plants and trees. So we do have a lot of green space in Canada, specifically in Vancouver, because it rains a lot here. So water generates wood, right? But what I wanted to really emphasize is definitely that each of those 5 elements are going to be connected within the human body. So that's in nature, right? In nature, we can look at it from that perspective, but I want to look at it from a perspective of also looking at the body. Everything in our body is connected and everything is generating something good or bad for the next element. Well, it's the same in our body and it's the same system. So I'm just going to go to the next slide. And if you don't mind to go down to the next one after that. Thank you. Perfect. So obviously that's what I was talking about, the wood generating the fire, right? The heat, the sun is needed to grow earth and food. This is called the Shen cycle, which is in nature. And what I love about TCM is that it looks at nature and then it superposes it on our body, on our system. And our health. So that's usually, oh, could you turn your mic off, please? Thank you. Thank you. Thank That's awesome. So what I would look at in nature can be superposed on the body, right? Which I think is really, really how we use it in TCM practice. So I'm going to ask Dr. Goldorf to show me the next slide since I don't have control of that. Thank you. Okay, so let's take an example of how this generating sequence can affect, or can everything affect another system. So I'll start with looking at each element. So the wood is represented by liver and gallbladder in Chinese medicine. The heart and small intestine are representing in fire. Spleen and stomach, which is the digestive system, is representing in earth. Lung and large intestine in metal, and kidney and bladder in water. Okay, so often I get asked this question, why is it that liver gallbladder is represented by wood? So one of the similarity we have to look at in Chinese medicine is liver and gallbladder gets affected by stress. So when liver and gallbladder are relaxed and zen-like and not stressed, then they flow. So in nature, when you have trees, for example, trees are strong, right? They are strong, but they can be bent. They can bend because of the wind. The wind can make them bend. Plants and trees and flowers can bend from the wind. They are also going to be stressed by nature in general. So often we put the liver and gallbladder, which is very relaxed, into the flow of wind, like a tree, like a plant that's just flowing with nature. The heart and small intestine, the heart is definitely connected to fire because it is the king organ. It is in charge of the mind, the highest part of our body, which is the most young part of our body, which is the brain or the mind. So that's where that connection comes from. The spleen and stomach obviously are related to the digestive system, and digestive system related to earth because earth is nurturing, right? It's nurturing, it's giving us what we need, food and nutrients in order to continue to live. Metal is related to lung and large intestine because the lung and large intestine are in charge of the immune system. And the immune system is a defense system, right? And so it's our defenders. And metal is like a metal shield. It's your defender. Metal is very strong to stop invaders from coming in. And during wars, or metal was a shield to stop invaders. So lung and large intestine relates to the invaders because of the immune system relationship to the defense system. Kidney and bladder are related to water because, of course, of the connection of excreting water, processing water, and detoxifying the liquid in our body in order for us to basically filter what we need. So the kidney is the filter, the bladder excretes the water, so that's the relationship there. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that. All right. So now let's look at what can happen and how in clinical practice we can look at people and see where everything starts or where it all started. So I'm just going to take an example of someone that's really stressed, right? So like the little person on top of the liver gallbladder. So when someone is really stressed, a lot of pressure, maybe they have a lot of pressure at work, maybe they have stress, financial stress, maybe it's COVID-19 stress, right? We're in the middle of a pandemic, so there's a lot of stress that affects a lot of people, that obviously affects everyone around. So stress can lead to insomnia. So it's wood generating fire, but stress can lead to insomnia. So if someone comes in and says, I'm not sleeping, I have, insomnia, and you're coming to see me for insomnia, I can just address the insomnia and treat the insomnia by using point like Heart 7. Heart 7 is one of the best points for insomnia. But I want to know the root cause. What's the root cause? Why are you having insomnia? So the idea is to look for the root cause, and using the 5 elements can help us determine where it all started. So if someone has insomnia and they tell me that they're super stressed and that they have so much to do and on their mind, and they wake up between 1 and 3 a.m. every single night, and they can't fall back asleep because now they start thinking and stressing, that is the root cause is liver gallbladder, the wood generating the fire. So basically too much wood made too big of a fire, or the stress led to insomnia. So when someone has insomnia and they wake up specifically between 1 and 3 a.m., that is liver time. Liver time means that that person is really stressed out. So we need to address both. We need to de-stress the person, so do point for liver, gallbladder, and then we need to do acupuncture point or herb or diet or anything that you have tools in your toolbox to address intestine. So for me, I would have to do, you know, things like Heart 7 because it's great for sleeping and insomnia, but I also would have to do points to calm the liver, like liver 2, liver 1, liver 3, depending what kind of stress and what does that look like. If the person is really irritable and they're feeling they have a lot of headaches, especially temporal headache, that is liver 2 probably. Liver 3 allows movement of chi, better movement, better flow. So liver 3 is a good point to also de-stress the person. So obviously there's other points we can put, but just to kind of give you an idea of how we look at it. Okay, so let's say this person is stressed, right? They come and they say, well, I have insomnia, but I also am craving food because I'm so tired, right? I haven't slept in so many days. I keep waking up. So now I drink a lot of coffee. I crave sugar. In the afternoon, I need an energy drink or some more sugar, something to keep me awake because I fall asleep. So now this person is choosing and craving bad food and food that are not going to be conducive to nourishing nutrients and nourishing the body. So now the digestive system is going to be affected because if the excuse me, if the person is obviously craving coffee and sugar and other bad food, then they are going to get in, drink those coffees. Maybe I've had patients that come and say, oh, I've had 12 coffees today. And I'm like, what? Right? So now you're really depleting your body. You're giving yourself a lot of caffeine, which is not good. And then you're eating a lot of coffee, sugar, or you drinking energy drinks, and that's really going to deplete your digestive system because you're not feeding it good nutrients. So now the digestive system is depleted because of bad diet or poor diet choice due to trying to stay awake. So that stress event really catapult into insomnia, but now it's also affecting the digestive system. And this person can say, I have loose stools, I'm always bloated, I feel tired and sluggish. That is the digestive system that's being obviously depleted. I'm going to ask Miss Moto G to turn her microphone off. That would be great. Thank you, madam. So,
Clara ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We have just 7 minutes. I think so. We have to go within a second and come back. This is what we require everybody to come back.
Okay. Okay. So, not right now or in a few minutes?
Yeah, in a few minutes, about within 7 minutes. There is just 7 minutes left.
Sure. Okay. Okay. So if the spleen and stomach or the digestive system is not nourished with good food, bad diet will lead to a poor immune system. So if we're not eating good nutrients, we can't have good probiotic, prebiotics, and good gut health, right? The gut health is really important. We need to have really strong digestive system to be able to have defenders or immune system, because the immune system obviously is in charge of defending us. And so if we don't have good probiotics, good flora in our large intestine, then we cannot fight invaders. And now the immune system is going to get depleted. So long and large intestine does not get nourished properly and now gets depleted. So see how this can really lead to every system being affected. That stress event led to insomnia, led to the poor digestive system issue, and now immune system. So this person is going to get sick a lot, maybe have allergies, get all the colds, all the flus, and no immune system, or maybe they would have bladder infection, but have a lot of infection. So that would deplete the immune system as well. So we are really, really affecting every system. And the last system, the kidney bladder, which often in TCM relates to aging, it relates to the reproductive system. So we correlate the kidney bladder to aging because it's in charge of essence. And so, oh, that went away. Oh, I need to go back up. That went away. Yeah, we need to go back up, Rudolph. Like that's just more up, more up, more up. Yes, thank you. Oh, one down. Yeah, thank you. So if the kidney bladder gets affected because the immune system, when it's depleted, it can lead to fertility issue. I have a lot of fertility patients that have issues with not able to conceive or not able to keep a pregnancy. So lots of pregnancy loss or miscarriages due to the fact that the immune system is attacking the potential fetus and the embryo. So that's an autoimmune issue that can come up from the fact that this person's immune system is not properly functioning, and now it's affecting the fertility for that couple, specifically for the woman, in her ability to keep the pregnancy going. So you could see that, and of course, if she's having a lot of loss, that puts a lot of stress on the body. And so now liver and gallbladder is affected because it leads to stress when there's lots of miscarriages or lots of loss. So you can see how everything is really related. So just to give you a quick example before we switch and come back. If someone comes and sees me and has immune system that is very poor, that's their complaint. Their complaint is, I'm always sick, my immune system is really low. I have to look back, right? What's the root cause? And often the root cause is a bad diet. The person is not nourishing their gut flora. They're not giving good nutrients to the body. And so the immune system is not really strong. So if I just address the immune system and treat the immune system with stomach 36 and lung 7, for example, that's not going to be enough. I need to also address the digestive system, but also the diet. So we need to change the diet for the person, and we need to strengthen and balance the spleen and stomach in Chinese medicine. So that would be the root cause. Does that make sense? So for me, it's always looking a step back in this sequence, because of course we're going to look about the other sequence, a step back from each sequence, right? It's just, you look at this from that perspective and you're going, oh, okay, the diet is the culprit. If I don't change the diet, I'm not going to get a good immune system. And so we're just managing. If you just treat the immune system, you're managing. If you look for the root cause, let's say it's the digestive system, then you're going to get a better outcome. Does that make sense? So hopefully that makes sense for everybody in that perspective. So it's always looking, and sometimes everything is affected, right? It comes from way back, and then all systems are affected, and that's harder to treat because that's a lot to treat. But a lot of time, it's just one step back. And if it's one step back or two step back, it's easier to treat that than if there was, you know, all 5 elements or 5 systems affected. So, does that make sense? So hopefully that makes sense for everybody. And then I figure, because we look at stress as a big cause of disease, it's not, or stress as a big cause of, you know, imbalances. I have to say that obviously that always starts from the liver gallbladder, so that creates a lot of other problems, but it's not the only cause. There's a lot of root cause that can affect each system, right? So if someone is very anxious, anxiety affects the heart specifically. Anxiety can lead to digestive issues like ulcers in the stomach. Anxiety coming from the heart can lead to loose stools, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. It's affecting the emotional stress of this person being anxious. Is it going to affect their digestive system? And so if someone comes in with IBS, I have to look for the root cause, right? Is this anxiety or is it stress, right? Does it come back one step, depending? So we have to look at trying to make a, the more detail we get, the more information we get from each patient, the better the root cause. And that's what I love to use the 5 element for, is to make sure I have all systems affected, treated, not just the one that the person came to see me for. So that hopefully makes sense. Dr. Rudolph, do I have time, or do we have to disconnect?
Clara, I think so. We have to go back and come because we just have few seconds left with us.
Okay, so everybody, we're just going to cut off, and we're going to come back and join again if you're still interested in continuing. Perfect. Do that.